Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to the channel and happy Juneteenth, now a federal holiday for the last couple of years. Let's, in this one, go over a portfolio review. We're going to look over all of the options trades and stuff like that. And to be honest, in this year, 2025, I've been quite surprised with how the trading's going. I'm really valuing the Discord community, the YouTube community. We're all learning stuff off of each other. It's not like there's one teacher and a bunch of students or disciples. Everybody's kind of being a good community and we're all learning off of each other. But what we're going to do is do a portfolio review. Now, in 30 minutes, we have Eric Thompson of Wheel ETFs coming back on. He's going to go over the Wheel Strategy ETF. So I'll take questions now to get ready for that one. This is going to be like a pre-interview to that one because we're discussing the Wheel Strategy here. And then this video is going to focus on doing the Wheel Strategy yourself. The next video is going to focus on an ETF that does it for you. So, with that being said, when I created this channel back in 2021, I sought out to replace my work income with other means, with trading, with investing, heck, even with being a YouTuber, with things like that. And I guess my horizon, my vision has expanded over time. It's not all about like one full-time income. At this point, it's about like multiple full-time income. So last year, we already hit our goal of full-time dividend income, and we're still on pace to hit that again this year. This is where the portfolio is dividend-wise. But remember, the channel theme is dividends and options. I would actually like to focus on options more because options are you're doing what the fund managers are already doing, but you're doing it yourself. You're making real money yourself. So it's a mix of both. It's a mix of both dividends and options. Right now, this year, so we've made 29,000 on dividends. So far, as you're going to see, we've made 92,000 and change on options. So we're making far more money on options than dividends. So as far as the overall percentages, if we were to weight it, if we take 92 plus this, we'll do a weighting here. So instead of a 50-50 dividend options channel, income-wise, we're actually majority options, I would say. So yeah, we're like three-quarters options. We had our best month dividend-wise last month. You see, January we started out here 46.88, February 41.73, March 3,064, April 3,716. So we bottomed out in March, but then we came right back and had our best month in May. June, so far we've made 2,400 in dividends. And the beauty of this, we're not even using margin. I could really get aggressive and double up or double down, using margin. But anyway, these are the dividends that we're getting, and these are all the dividend funds. Well, this is everything the portfolio is invested in. I still have AT&T, which I've had for like 8 years now. It's about to get called away from me though. I did the math because I sold calls at $24, so I'm gonna have like a $150 loss on it after all this time. So it's worse than a CD. I was getting a perfect 666 in dividends here, but they're gonna be gone because I'm getting wheeled out of it. But guess what? The way the wheel strategy works, I just wheel right back into it if I want. I can sell puts at, $28 or so and then just wheel right back on in. AT&T's been a winner this year though. And then I have some other ones, Datadog, Chipotle, Haitai. There's not much actual investments left in the account because I've been doing everything with the wheel. Aside from some stocks and some dividend ETFs, there's not a whole lot of actual investments other than, of course, SMCX, which I got assigned on, and then Tesla, which I'm still holding the bag on. MSTU, this is all stuff I've been assigned on. And worst case scenario, I get assigned more. That's how the wheel strategy works. NVDL, I got called out of, but as you're going to see, that's my top gainer for the year. I've made like almost 50,000 on one ETF. And then I have some Misty, some XYZY. There we go. Coney. Now remember, the dividends are understated until the end of the year, which if we look at 2024, because the year ended, obviously, we can see all the dividends, which December we got 12,377. So in my opinion, this was a full-time dividend income. This exceeded my salary from like 10 years ago. So this this exceeded what I made in salary 10 years ago. So this, in my opinion, folks, this is a full-time income, but we're doing even better with the options. But the point I'm making here, the 2025 is way understated because Schwab quit tracking um, yield max funds because they basically said they're too unreliable. So we'll ask Jay about this too. That should show, and I'll ask Jay because he's on tomorrow, by the way. Uh, I'm going to ask Jay, what do you think about what Schwab thinks of you guys? Because basically, when I call Schwab and they tell me, hey, we don't even list the dividends because they're too unreliable, that kind of tells you what they think. Let's see who we got. And we got Professor Hoff here. How do you assess and mitigate risk associated with the underlying securities in that ETF? My risk mitigation strategy, I'm so glad you asked. It's a very it's a very carefully executed and coordinated strategy. It consists of getting the big stick and the smaller stick, rubbing them together, and creating fire. And then fire keeps us warm, so then we're not worried about risk. And then if I think risk might be a thing, I have advanced financial forecasting equipment such as the 8 ball, which will tell me everything I need to know about not just financial risk, but life's most pressing questions. So this one, I just asked a question to it. I don't even actually know what I asked, but see, it's not giving me an answer. If you don't know what you asked, you don't know what the answer is either. But it says most likely, so there we go. Not you. These are questions for your fund manager. Oh, thanks. Well, see, he's like, I wouldn't ask this to you because you're going to come up with something goofy anyway. How do you address periods of underperformance in the portfolio? How about how do you address periods? I almost made a bad joke. Well, I kind of did, but I almost made it worse. Anyway, hey, shut up. There's 4 viewers, not 3. You're discounting my audience by 33%. How dare you? And it's in the middle of the day. And by the way, I'll have you know, sir, we had 30 live viewers on yesterday, and we used to have 100. And watch, and I want to see if you count this one. When we have Jay on, I'd like to see your live count of that one. Give it time. I know, well, unlike what you advised me, I'm not announcing these too early. So that's still impressive that, that many people can drop whatever they're doing and watch me. That's a testament to how much they like me. Anyway, let's go over the real fun. This is the real income. So this is the wheel strategy, folks. And I have to admit, 4 years ago, I thought this was a pipe dream, but dreams become reality when executed properly. Um, the only thing is, like, most of this is short-term gains. And if I wanted to really get nitpicky, which I'm sure some of you all will, some of you all that are very professorial and you like to sit behind your glasses and your keyboard and your desk, which I don't have any more glasses, by the way, in case you noticed. Um, but not to be glassist, if that's a word. But the majority of these gains are short term, and the percentage, if you really wanted to get nitpicky, you could say, oh, 16% is a low return. But that's because I'm just, it's like juicing an orange. I'm doing it, I'm getting as much juice as I can before I do get concerned about risk and before I roll. So the way I roll here, so I've taken, a lot of you would say 26,543 is a lot in losses. The gross gains are phenomenal. And then net gain, again, like I said in Discord, this actually is within $30 of what my total 2022 salary was. Gain loss ratio is 81.73%. To see the heat map, we have to actually look at each account individually. Now, you all can see the bulk of these gains have come in the individual account. And the Roth IRA, there's only 5324. Now the real brains behind this operation, of course, is in my audience, and I'm sure these people that are commenting have made way more than yours truly. But that goes to say, teaching, coaching, and being a student or a pupil is a two-way street sometimes, and sometimes it's interchangeable. Sometimes the coach gets coached, sometimes the audience is the coach. So that's what's great about having an awesome community. Anyway, so let's review the trades that put me over the top here because this was a new threshold. And just think, folks, we're not even halfway through the year. We're on, one of our important holidays of the year, but we're not halfway through the year yet. We're still like 11 days to go. So let's review the trades. So a lot of them have come from the bulk of these gains have come from NVIDIA, NVDL, SMCX, and MSTU. So if we go yesterday, What put me over the top. Now, the interesting thing, I didn't quite say this yesterday, but I took my biggest loss of the year and my biggest gain of the year. So I got out of a call option, and this, to Professor Hoff's point here, we talked about this some time ago. Um, there's another program that I kind of follow that has to do with buying calls. Well, this was one of the ones that I was in that I was ahead in it for a while, but I got greedy and then the stock dropped, and then I ended up taking this loss. I know you told me never buy calls. You turned out to be right again. You do make money, but sometimes you do lose money as well. But anyway, this one was Anip Pharmaceuticals. I had to bite the bullet on about 5,000 there. But luckily, I was able to salvage some of it and not realize a total loss. I wanted to go ahead and buy it back, or sell it rather, before we got into the last 30 days, because as you all know, especially those of you that are options experts in the audience, as you all know, theta decay is exponential within the final 30 days of the option. Let me move this because when I listen to myself on the replay, sometimes it's a little scratchy. By the way, this isn't a beer because for one thing, it's in a Chick-fil-A cup. Chick-fil-A doesn't serve alcohol, so that's how you know it's not a beer for one thing. But if you didn't believe that, it's actually an energy drink. It's an orange Celsius energy drink. So there. That's why I might be a little hyped up. Okay, so forget the loss. What are we really focused on? We're focused on the monies we made yesterday. So what I went ahead and did, and I think Pay the Piper is on here, so let's go over his comments here. Well, we got two of the three. We got two of the three on. Let's see. Hey, look, Hoff, my audience doubled. I'm at 7. Glassless. Well, I can be glassless because that is a plastic cup, but I won't always stay glassless forever. Of course, fine jewelry that's real gold, such as this, I don't leave the house with it. So I don't know if I would take this to the stock exchange or not. But let's see. Piper says, what delta do you sell your puts once assigned? What delta do you sell your calls? Well, I just booked my New York flight with Delta Airlines, so that's the delta that I'm looking at today. What do you do if the fund drops so low, selling a call won't make any premium? What do you do then? Then I don't sell calls. It's very simple. I just don't sell calls. I sell puts. I make more money on the put side anyway. If the premium's too low, I don't do it. As far as the delta, I haven't well, you caught me. Actually, I generate most of my jokes through AI over here. Busted again, darn it. Um, so much for cutting the sugar. Hey, I'll have you know this is artificial. Well, it's not artificial. There's no sugar in this. It's like a 0 calorie drink. Although you're the nutrition expert, so you probably know something I don't. At least it's not a beer. Do any of you think I would sit here in the middle of the day and have a beer on my channel? Wouldn't that be kind of unprofessional of me? Let's see. I'm reading comments in reverse order. He says 80% loss rate, but if you use proper management, those losses don't need to be big and the wins can be massive. Oh, I know. I agree. If you manage it properly, for sure. And I've had big wins on call options too. The caffeine is good. Just drink water after. So last time I drank a lot of beer, I tried to drink the water, but the water at the place was just nasty. So I'm like, they're making me drink more beer. Um, Okay, questions for Peerless. Well, thank you for that, Piper. What's the criteria for selecting your funds to do the wheel on? See, I keep answering because I think you all are asking me, but we'll definitely try to save these. What's he say? Give it time, Jay always does well. I wish I could have Jay on every day. If I could have Jay on every day, I'd be like one of the biggest channels on here. I like one of the questions somebody asked. They said, "Why is Jay keep going to same YouTuber?" Maybe we'll ask him that tomorrow. We got to come up with some funny ones, by the way. Um, Anyway, so here's the thing. So I quit looking at Delta, other than the airline that I just booked. I quit looking at Delta because the broker doesn't show it. Like I used to be familiar with. Okay, when I was doing Thinkorswim, I should log on to Thinkorswim actually. Why don't I do that? Let's do it. Why not? Hopefully this doesn't cut me out, by the way. Um, but here, let's do this real quick. So what I want to focus on, so what you see at the bottom here, this was my biggest trade win ever yesterday. And it's funny because I wasn't like over like I wasn't super like I didn't seem super excited about it, which kind of shows how normal this level of trading has become. This was by far, this had to be, and then believe it or not, my next biggest one was this one. These were my two biggest. So if you add these up, these add up to over 28,000. So this 18,505, and I could have sold for even higher, or I could have rather bought back for even higher. 96.73. I do this all in my head, by the way. I just use the calculator for illustrative purposes for the audience. So 28,179. It was 28,800 at one point. But you see, and then NVIDIA, I got called out of because of this. So we've been on an upswing again since March and April when we had a rough patch. We've been on an upswing, since then. And so if I rank these, you all can see all my trades here because I'm very transparent. I had to sell, so in March, unfortunately, I had to come up with some money. I was in a pinch, and because I don't do margin, I had to sell and generate my own money, which I like to do. I'm not a big fan of debt or margin, but if we go here and kind of rank the trades based on the biggest, we're going to see. So there's some big losses. I've taken losses in NVDL and NVIDIA. TQQQ, I quit doing the wheel on because it just wasn't working. But anyway, you're going to see my three biggest of the year are NVDL, followed by SMCX and NVDL. So you see this top 10 list here is pretty much all NVDL and SMCX. We've squeezed a lot of juicy premium on. And the reason why, so my plan was for this 47,000, I was just going to sit on this and I was going to just realize the whole thing because I figured by January, and that's to your point, Piper, I figured by January it was going to be at 80 because that's a good solid, what, 7 months that it has to get there. Plus, you've got slow theta decay over that time. And between the price going up and the theta decay, I figured even if it didn't get there, I would realize most of this. But I already realized, what, 35% or so within, or at least a third of it within like a month after holding. So I was like, why not just lock this in? And what you'll see that I did, I locked it in and actually rolled up. So I rolled out and rolled up because what I thought, I said, okay, of this 47,000, we've realized 18.5 of it. And then I basically sold again at the cost basis that you see here, um, maybe even a little higher. So there was like no fluctuation at all. So I'm on that trade now, locked in this one. That's why my percentage gain is so low. The percentage gain is so low because I'm buying back. I'm not always realizing all the meat off of the bone. I'm buying back. Anyway, so you all can see here, this is how we're doing. And this is the wheel again. So this is what this ETF, this peerless ETF is doing. It's doing the wheel. So we're going to go over that. But I do it myself, as you see, and a lot of us do. So the wheel, you sell puts, and you can never go wrong because you're at the price that you want to be at. You're selling the puts at the price you pick. And then when you get assigned, if you get assigned, if you don't get assigned, you keep all that premium and it's all money in the bank for you. If you do get assigned, then you own the shares at the price that you picked, minus the premium you took in. So you never lose the premium no matter what. And then you can then sell covered calls and realize premium on that side. Now for me, selling the covered calls has proven to be a little bit foolish because you're obviously capped on the upside. As yield max investors, we know all about that because the covered call ETFs that we're invested in are capped on the upside. This is like a soda. It's addictive. Um, Soda minus the sugar. Let's see here. How are we doing on comments here? Go over the fund objectives. Greetings from Viva Las Vegas. Oh, I haven't seen you in a while. Why did Tesla have its lowest all-time payout this month, 40 cents? So Wheel is making about 10%. Can't you do better? Great question. I mean, as you see, we are doing better based on the numbers. Um, but that's that. So, okay, what do I want to show now? I want to go over, let's see here. So again, there's not a lot of overall investments in the account anymore. It's pretty much all holding the bag on yield max. and then trading options. Basically, this account has become a wheel account. But what I want to go over now is the trades that I made yesterday. So, and I want you all to understand the rationale behind these trades because I'm very transparent. I show you all. Let's go over dividends we got. So this person that said 40 cents, they're right. Tesla did pay out the lowest one. But, you know, Tesla has been dropping a lot. There was a lot of volatility, so you would have thought it might have been a little higher. We can always ask Jay why it wasn't higher tomorrow. By the way, be getting your questions ready for Jay tomorrow if you haven't already. That includes Mr. Hoff and Mr. Piper. So we also got WDTE, QDTE, QQQY. Sounds like a radio station. XDTE, MSTY, WDTE, QQQY, BETO, XYZY, XDTE, QDTE, Biggie, like Biggie Smalls. And then we got a journal entry. And then this was from the last month. Hold on, do I have these filtered? I must have these filtered or something because it's not showing. Oh, that's the Roth. Never mind. I don't trade much in the Roth, even though I should because it's all tax free. This is the account I want to look at. Okay, these are the trades I did. So check this one out. So I went even higher. I went back at 80, which some of you think that because of the slippage, some of you think that NVDL is maxed out. Um, but I went 20 this time and I collected basically the same premium I had before. So if this one works out, it's like the last trade was just easy money. It was like free money because I collected the same premium regardless of the last trade even happening. So see, I bought these back over here below the 20,000. And then I sold to open again at the January 16th um, date. I sold to open these. See how close I was? Look at this. I was only within $40. So I bought back to close here and then basically turned right around and got right back in within 3 cents. That's pretty good execution, wouldn't you all say? It's like a fund manager. I could almost be a fund manager. Maybe I should. Um, and then buy to close and then sell to open. So if I divide this one, let's see what price this was, 23.68. It's a different strike price entirely. So it was 11.84. So see the difference in premium, it was the 11.84 minus 9.90. So by rolling out, we took in another $1.94 in premium per share, basically. And the beauty of this one, again, to illustrate this, because I believe the real learning takes place when you go over the same concepts over and over again. So for this one, this 47,346.72, if we do get assigned 2,000, so watch this one. This is this $23, subtract this from 80. So you're really buying at a price lower than what it's currently trading at when you factor in all the premium. So if the worst case scenario, if I do get assigned, I'm buying back at this price. You see? So it's lower than what NVDL is currently trading at because NVDL is currently trading at $60 a share. So let me know your thoughts on that because how can you go wrong even though, okay, it may not get to 80, but I think it's certainly going to go higher over time. Let's look at NVDL again here. So right now, NVDL is trading higher than the price that I would get assigned at. And see, $60 yesterday, it hit a very unique milestone. It hasn't been at 60 in a while. So even though over the last few months it's still down 10% from where we began the year. We began the year at $81. That was January 6th, our favorite day. Um, it began the year there, and you see it's slipped since then. A year ago at this time, but I get you guys points because a year ago at this time, Nvidia was actually lower. The price per share was actually lower than what it currently is. So this is slipped. This is what I was trying to ask Will about. This is the concept I was trying to get at, but I didn't quite execute the question properly. So my apologies for that. Because we're $25 lower a year later, and the underlying is higher. So you could call that slippage, you could call it NAV erosion, but it's certainly a similar concept. So NVIDIA, let's do this. So see, in price return, over the last year. And I did ask him this. I did point this out. This very chart, you can go back and watch this very chart I had up. I said, look, it's lagging behind the underlying. The underlying's up 7% in a year, and the leveraged ETF, which is supposed to be 1.5x or actually 2x to the upside, is down 30%. So that's significant. Let's see what we got here. Wow, you guys are blowing me up here. It's like fan mail. What's Secretary's Day? Let's see. 80% loss rate. Yeah, I agree. He said that's the best comment of the day. I mean, I read that one already. Hey, AI, can you come up with some better jokes? The audience is getting tired of the jokes. All right, Siri's gonna, my girlfriend, Siri, or is her name Alexa? I get my hose mixed up, but one of them's gonna come up with some better jokes for me. Let's see. We went over that one. No premium. NVDL 2% daily rebalancing is affected greatly in a flat market. No volatility. That's true. Oh, tariffs are starting again July 9th. He doesn't want to do it on July 4th. That's Independence Day. He can't use Liberation Day because that already got used. What does wheel hold? Wheels making about 10%. Okay, good questions. I'm going to try to remember all of these. Just in case I don't, let me be lazy and take a picture. I feel kind of stupid because the comments the comments aren't going to show once I start the new live stream. So let me just while you all are watching me, let me waste your time and take pictures for myself because I'm such a selfish SOB, right? That's a joke. But anyway, so I think I have all of your fine questions now ready at the helm. Let's do this here. Um, Copy and paste. Now it's too much work. I'm super lazy. Oh shoot, my little arrow cut off one of his questions, but I think I have it. He said no premium. I want to make sure I get the. He said the. I want to make sure I get that. Make sure. Okay, I do have the. Perfect. Um, hmm. Wheels make about 10%. Where is that one? I got LASIK recently, so I'm still kind of trying to see better. Let's see. Okay, we got them all. Perfect. There we go. All right. Wow, 11 of you on. That means my audience tripled since the start of this amazing live stream. Okay, so we'll go right into the next one, basically. I want to make sure the audience I want to retain for the next one. Okay, so we are on to something pretty serious here, folks. This is a serious thing. Um, it is slipping. But what Will said in that interview, he said we are meeting our objective daily. He said it daily meets its objective on a daily basis. Um, 11x. Well, of course, it started at zero. By the way, I started with zero as an investor. Is that a flex? Doesn't everybody start with zero? Maybe not you, because I know you're a trust fund baby, but everybody else started with zero. I'm kidding. I'm sure you started with zero too. That's why great minds think alike, right? See? Um, Oh, you know what? So I would paste in a Word document, but guess what happened? Because I'm too cheap, and you all should know this by now. Um, I'm too cheap to pay for my own Microsoft Office, so I still had my student rate from my school that I got my fake degrees from. Um, I got my student rate, and then they canceled it. So it's that stupid 365 account. So I lost Excel, Office, PowerPoint, all of them. So I went on Groupon and found like a Groupon deal, but I've got to activate it. It's kind of over my head, honestly. I've got to use a product code and activate it, and I just don't have time. I'd rather be on here and BS around with you all. So, by the way, I bet if Chick-fil-A went public, they'd start serving alcohol. Oh, it was cheaper than that. But I mean, that's chump change for you because you're a big money guy. But and hey, why don't you come on one day and teach us how to trade futures? That's like the next frontier. Be open on Sundays. Well, guess what? I'm open 7 days a week. I'm coaching you all 7 days a week, whether you like it or not. Okay. Well, I think we're gonna go right into the next one here. Let's see. A couple more nuggets of wisdom here. Let's do this total return. See if this makes a difference. No, because they don't really pay dividends. NVIDIA pays a slight dividend. He claims it's meeting its investment objective. He claims It's meeting its investment objective. So if you look over the last month, in the short term, it does. See, in the short term, it is 2x. I try to be fair to them. I try to say, okay, it's doing well here, but when you go 6 months out, not as good. Because you've got to remember, it's to the downside and the upside as well. So it's harder to recover when there's those fluctuations like that. Now let's do this. Let's go look at NVIDIA. I think if I had a daughter, I would name her NVIDIA, and I think I would name my cat or my dog NVIDIA, because NVIDIA is my dog. That's my favorite. Let's see, year to date, up 8%. I just want to see price. Oh, here we go. Okay, let's see here. So we were 130, so we're only $10 higher. And there is no NAV erosion in a stock, as we know. So we fluctuated a lot, though. You got to factor this in too. It's 2x to the downside as well. And he said that too. So our low points here, we got to 102. We were like 118 over here, then 116. Then we dropped back down below 100 here. Great buying point here. This was the best buying point in the last year. Every time Nvidia gets below 100, by the way, I believe, I won't say for sure, but I believe it's an amazing buying point. So if we look over the last month, we're up 8%. But if we go to advanced, oh, look at this advanced chart. We can add indicators to it. The reason I went advanced is because I want to go out to a custom time. Oh, we can go a minute. We can go minutes. We can go hours. I don't want to go 3 months. I want to go 2 months. Oh, look at that. It goes all the way from 1999 onward. But anyway, it's recovered remarkably. Let me just use my phone here. Sorry, folks. Let me just use my phone. Thank you all for the questions, by the way. You all made my job easier. Anytime you all eliminate my work, you make my job very easy. Eliminate the work, not the job. I'm fine keeping the job. If you eliminate the work, it's fine. Just don't eliminate the job or the title or the pay. You all know I'm joking, right? At least I hope you do. So how about this, folks? In 2 months, okay, this is the clincher. We're up 116% on NVIDIA stock. That is incredible. So then that means, hold on a second. Was that NVDL? Wait. That can't be right. 2 months. That was NVDL. Okay. NVDL is up 100% because the stock is up 50%. So take that to the bank, folks. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Thanks for the amazing questions. Kramer. I'm not Kramer. My picks are more accurate. No futures for you. Well, the future includes a fund manager interview in the next minute. Thank you all for tuning in, okay? Like, comment, and subscribe. Join Discord. We'll see you.